sunshine in Seattle. The two don't seem to go hand in hand, but here I am and it's sunny. Jaguar flew me out here to test drive the new F-Type, the spiritual and real successor to the E-Type 40 years later. But before we take that monster Jaguar for a drive, let's take a seaplane flight and check out the area. Coming up next on the Fast Lane Car. All right, this needs to be said. I am not working for Jaguar. I'm just wearing the hat because I've got, well, a convertible and I've got bad hair day going on. So that's why I've got the hat. Alright, let's get this out of the way right now. I'm here in America, in Seattle, test driving the brand new F-Type. And in the UK, this is a Jaguar. But here in America, it's a Jaguar. Is your heart pounding? Are you lusting for a Jaguar F-Type? Well, if so, there are three models. There's the F-Type, the F-Type S, which is this one, and the 5-liter V8 F-Type, which is the top of the line. It starts at about $69,000 and the V8 goes all the way up to, well, 93 plus all the options. So you can easily get over $100,000 for your dream F-Type Jaguar.
We took the decision to take the grille shape and style from today's XJ and XF saloons because we're working hard to build a strong visual identity for Jaguar cars, and we thought it was more important that the front end of F-Type related to our current production saloons than perhaps what was expected by some, which was to take the oval mouth from today's XK and obviously the E-Type before it.
And here it is. The supercharged 495 horsepower monster that lies underneath the Jaguar. But because it's all covered, you can't see a lot. And it's so tightly packaged that I would hate to be a mechanic to work on this beast. Ah yes, the joys of open air, oops, sorry about that, driving with my driving partner and TFL car intern Kyle. Say hi, Kyle.
Hey guys.
He's going to be very quiet. He's a very silent driving partner at this point. So how does the F-Type drive? Well, in a word, it's very visceral. Because that exhaust back there, if you push this little button that opens up the baffles, listen. Oh boy. It's like the old Harley I used to have that had nothing but drag pipes coming out the back. I mean, this car is alive. And this car lets you know it's alive. And yes, this Jaguar has, well, claws and big teeth because every time you floor it. You know, my favorite part isn't that exhaust note, it's kind of the burble as it backfires. It just feels like a race car. And I'm not a race car driver, but this is what I imagine a race car driver must feel like.
This whole portion hinges forwards, and that's because it gives the car a very exotic nature. You know, it's easy to do an inset bonnet like a lot of our competitors do, but we thought it was really cool that actually if you look at some of the historical exotic cars like Lamborghini Miuras, the Jaguar E-Type of course, Lancia Stratoses, they had these whole panels that open front and rear. And certainly when I was a little boy and I was buying dinky toys and so on, I'd always display those cars with the fronts and rears opened up because they were kind of like a transformer in the days before Transformers existed.
Don't try this at home, kids. got a little bit of tunnel vision there, which means it is fast, really fast. The sound, the fury, it is addictive. I mean, I could do that all day long and burn through a lot of hydrocarbons, but that is most definitely up there on my bucket list experiences, because Jaguar has built something that taps into your very soul when you hear that V8 roar. Now, Jaguar will tell you that this classic design language, you know, long front nose, short overhang, is shrink wrap. What does that mean? Well, it means that under this power bulge, there's not a lot of room for the engine, just millimeters. Over here where the wheels are, not a lot of room. So the car's contours follow the mechanics of the car, giving it that kind of powerful, muscular, in-your-face stance that, well, I think is absolutely gorgeous.
We try and shrink wrap the A surface, the skin around the mechanical components. So we've dropped the hood pressing as low as we can, and that's why we have this central power bulge, because that's where the power unit is kind of pushing its way up through the bonnet. And likewise, the fenders rise up over the wheel houses, because we've pulled the surface down to the last millimeter over every mechanical component.
Now, this Firestone Orange F-Type is $104,000, and that's because it's got the V8 under the hood. Over here, this is the V6, and you can tell that because it's got 2 exhausts versus 4 exhausts. Now, this one is $98,000. It's because it's all in the options. Go figure. Three words to describe the interior of the Jaguar: elegant, tight, and minimalist. There's not a lot of controls. They've tried to kind of maximize the amount of usage of every control. So for instance, the heated control also controls the heated seat control. It takes a little bit of getting used to, especially when you're trying to program the radio and you have to switch from the navigation screen. But once you get used to it, it's actually pretty handy. And unlike previous Jaguars, this user interface system is relatively fast. In the past, they've been kind of slow and clumsy. I think as each generation gets better, it makes it a little bit more user-friendly and a little bit more intuitive. The top goes up and down quickly. I think it's like 12 seconds. So when the sun is out like this, you can be in the open air within a relatively quick amount of time. The steering wheel is fat. The seats are comfortable. They hug you. And it couldn't be much better than this. Or could it? It could be better. The thing that is missing from this car, in my opinion, is a little bit of road feel. It feels like they've designed a car to be very alive and visceral, and yet, because of the demand of the market, they've made it somewhat isolated and insulated. I feel like I don't feel the road. I wish there was more road feel. I want to sense what that road is doing coming up right through the steering wheel, but I don't get that feeling. What I get is a feeling of a very mature and very well dampened car, and that's great, but with that exhaust note, I want to feel the road surface, and that's the part that I think I'm missing. Alright, here's the very impromptu 0 to 60 in the new F-Type. Here we go. On a wheel spin. That was 5.66. Now I bet you could do a lot faster than that, but I got a lot of wheel spin there. So let me put it in race mode, turn the car around, and try it again, because all I got there was wheel spin. All right, here we go. One more time, guys. Just too much power. There's too much power. All right. Okay, let's see if I can do better. 0 to 60. All kinds of wheel spin. And there's 60. 4.49. That was pretty fast. 4.49. Let me show you. 4.49. I have no doubt that this car would do faster, but given the amount of traction here and the fact that that was pretty heart-wrenching, I think we're done. I think that is pretty impressive. And of course, it's at sea level. All right, here's the bottom line. This car is one of the sexiest, one of the best sounding sports cars that you can buy today, but it's not perfect. The road feel is more luxury car than sports car. It's loud, both with the top up and with the top down. And perhaps most importantly, it's missing that which I just love, a stick shift manual transmission. I know nowadays they're out of style, but it just gets you so involved in the driving experience. It's also competing with the Porsche 911, and you can't be good to compete with the 911, you have to be excellent. So on the TFL scale of buy it, lease it, rent it, or forget it, is it excellent? I don't know. We'll have to wait until we get it in Colorado and I get to drive it for a week instead of just a few hours here in Seattle. As always, this is Roman reporting for the Fast Lane Car. Thank you for watching, and remember, subscribe for a new video every day. Ciao. Welcome to another episode of the Fast Lane Car, and today I have the very great pleasure of having Wayne Burgess here, who is not only a heavy metal rocker, right? Scattering Ashes?
Yeah, that's true.
That's your band?
Yes.
But also design director of the
Production studio director, yes.
Production studio director for Jaguar and the new F-Type. So Wayne, would you walk us through the design of this car? I know your heart and soul went into it. It's absolutely stunning, and I can't wait for you to tell us about what inspired you.